U.S. intelligence agency, mind control.
Just, some trash dog food from China, okay? These are supplements and these are products that are so healthy and natural that you could actually eat it yourself. So you can see here, Positive Bison, it clearly says dog food topper. And I'm going to put this in my mouth right now. It tastes like meat. And maybe that is disgusting to you. But I'll show you right here. Look, this is the Bison product right here. It clearly says dog food topper. You can see on camera.
Boy.
Actually tastes good.
Also today in the Middle East.
Amazing. All right. I'll leave it up to the chat. News wraps, yes or no? A lot of it we may not cover because we've got some big ones here. But I'll leave it up to chat. What do we reckon? Jump straight into it, or
nothing? I'm just really bad at video games. I was having trouble with the tutorial.
Wednesday is not gaming stream. Thursday we can only play games. All right. Skipping the news wraps.
The political battles over the rights of transgender Americans have led to difficult decisions for a number of families, especially those living in states with...
Everyone on Twitch, are we in the politics category? Can you check for me, please? I agree.
Go for headshots. Yeah, okay. Good luck.
Laura
Those will
Lopez
definitely happen.
The story of one family's journey to access that care.
When are we leaving? 20 minutes, 25 minutes?
14-year-old Ryan and his single mom, Mia, have waited over a year for this day. They're getting ready for a doctor's appointment.
Yes, keep it that way.
But that appointment is in Albuquerque, New Mexico, more than 600 miles from their home here in Austin, Texas. It's a journey they're making because Ryan is trans.
This is something that you didn't just decide one day. You felt this for a long time.
Yeah, I was really young. I was 6 and I knew for sure that I was not a girl.
The interesting thing is that I hear this a lot, right? Is that they always knew. Right? Is that the trans thing doesn't just like appear one day. That it's a permanent dysphoric feeling that they've had since childhood. Now, this discussion is very interesting because this is exactly where the right wing comes in and is like, don't touch kids. Right? But we have to figure out, not we as in us, but like the state, society needs to fucking sort this out. People shouldn't be traveling 600 miles, almost 1,000 kilometers, 2 tanks of petrol just for medical care. That shouldn't happen. That shouldn't be happening, especially not in America.
He's always a dude. He's always a little dude. And then right before he came out, he had cut his hair. And looking back on it now, like cutting all his curls off and everything, like I can see how his is starting to align. And it, just in hindsight, makes it way more clear than it was at the time. But yeah, it's always been who he's been.
Ryan saw doctors and therapists for years before starting medication around the age of 10 to temporarily pause the effects of puberty. A few years later, he began testosterone treatments, which...
Interesting. So actual medical intervention of a prepubescent teenager. Interesting. How common is actual hormonal treatment of gender dysphoria under the age of 18? John?
Hang on, I'm trying to get through this tutorial. It's not going well.
It's just puberty blockers because they just said that they were running through testosterone, like having testosterone therapy, right?
The line, and it, just in hindsight makes it way more clear than it was at the time. But yeah, it's always been who he's been.
Ryan saw doctors and therapists for years before starting medication around the age of 10 to temporarily pause the effects of puberty.
Right. So puberty blockers, right? We've got that.
A few years later,
And
he
then-
began testosterone treatments,
Okay.
which can lead to things like hair growth and a deeper voice.
Okay. So testosterone treatment, not so probably low level oral steroids, I imagine, is what I would imagine they would be giving. I highly, highly doubt that there'd be anything more impactful than that. Because surely especially during puberty, if you're blocking puberty and replacing it with a different hormone, you would need to almost, this is just me spitballing, you would need to drip feed it almost and sort of slowly increase it so it almost, like the body almost feels like it's a natural testosterone building. I don't know. I'm completely ignorant on the subject. I'm just sort of spitballing here. Well, yeah, that's the funny thing, right? All these guys on testosterone replacement when they're old, it's gender affirming care.
Yep.
Does that mean that Joe Rogan now gets his HRT blocked because does he now lose his testosterone replacement therapy because it's gender affirming care? And according to PBS here, it's just youth gender affirming care. Great. Awesome.
All those steps fall within guidelines for gender affirming care, which is supported by major U.S. medical associations, including the American Academy.
And we went over the we did go over the standards of the medical care for transgender youth. So I can't remember which one it was, but it was sent to us by a person who does not like trans people, and I decided to read it, and it proved them wrong. It was very funny.
Of Pediatrics. But around the globe, medical experts and government health officials haven't been in complete agreement.
Based?
Globe, medical experts and government health officials.
Based? We love this.
Haven't been in complete agreement. Gender affirming medical care for minors has come under increased scrutiny.
If they really feel that their best choice is to mutilate themselves, then they better wait until they're an adult.
As conservatives, from local lawmakers to the Republican presidential nominee, have used it to mobilize their base.
Can you imagine you're a parent and your son leaves the house and you say, Jimmy, I love you so much. Go have a good day in school. And your son comes back with a brutal operation. Can you even imagine this?
Lie.
Trump is a fucking idiot.
He's spread by former President Donald Trump and others in his party about things like surgeries on minors have helped fuel a wave of state legislation. In 2021,
I don't think that was a pink flag. It may have been, actually. It looked red to me. What do you reckon, John?
I told you I'm still trying to beat a tutorial.
I think it's red. I don't think it's the pink because the anarcho-feminist flag is like a hot pink. Yeah, this is the crazy thing is like they literally believe that doctors are just like cutting kids open and just cutting their dicks off. It's insane. It's the same mentality that they believe the baby guillotines, right? It's the same thing.
haven't been in complete agreement. President Donald Trump and others in his party about things like surgeries on minors have helped fuel a wave of state legislation. In 2021, Arkansas became the first state to ban transition-related
Arkansas.
medical care for those under 18.
Why would you do this,
Since
Arkansas?
then, restrictions have passed in 25 more
Okay,
states.
so I beat the tutorial.
Great.
I would not recommend playing that game with me. I would say that much because I can tell you right now, not really exactly clear what was going on most of the time. At least in Overwatch, it's like, you know, like you don't have to do anything. You know, like, you don't have to like buy your shit between rounds.
In Overwatch? No.
Yeah. It's like
do you
your
have to do that in Valorant? Do you?
Yeah, yeah. You need to, like,
so
equip
it
the
must be. It's a bit
abilities.
more like Apex than in like the
Oh,
because
I mean,
Apex had a 3v3 mode that they had, and you would have to buy shit in between. So maybe it's a
Yeah.
bit like that.
Like Overwatch, it's just like you know, like I can just play the guy with the sword and stab people.
True.
Yeah,
True.
see, I was saying it's more like, I was thinking it was more like Counter-Strike, but when Jack said Apex, I was like, I guess that then.
I mean, yeah. I mean, because it's because I always thought it was more like Overwatch, Apex Legends kind of thing, but like an arena shooter.
Nah,
but
I had to
CS:GO
plant
makes
a
a bit more
bomb,
sense.
and I had to plant a bomb to win, and then it was like,
Okay.
okay, now you're gonna do the defense, and I defused the
Interesting.
bomb to win.
But it has like abilities
It
and
seems
shit,
like,
right?
yeah, it seems like Counter-Strike with abilities.
I'm kind
So,
of
like,
down for that. That sounds cool.
played it yet, so you'd have to go through the tutorial too. So we're definitely not going to play that today.
Okay, that's fine.
Trans youth, including Texas.
Also,
And then-
we had a thing here. Do I think there will be chaos in the election? No. I think Donald Trump understands that he's not going to get another shot at
There'll be
denying the
chaos.
election.
There'll be chaos after the election.
Yes,
Trump.
it'll be after, and it won't
And
be
then I'm
Donald
gonna
Trump.
launch-
Donald Trump.
Nothing. Go ahead.
I don't think Donald Trump is going to challenge it this time. I think his supporters are going to do it because he's primed them enough that they won't need him to instigate it like last time. Somebody like Tucker Carlson or Dan Bongino or Jack Posobiec will make some kind of comment that will set off a mob who will be like, "Oh, the election was stolen," blah blah blah, and then somebody
Dan
might
Fedbino. Dan Fedbino.
Maybe. die. But I do not think that we'll see a repeat of 2020. I don't see it happening. I also don't see Trump winning. So
This law went into effect last September. It revokes the licenses of doctors who provide gender-affirming medical care to minors and requires anyone on treatment to be weaned off.
It was terrifying. Like, it was immobilizing. I pounded the pavement. I knocked on doors. Like, I did my best as like a mom and as a constituent to like plead my case, to plead our family's case. I watched experts get disregarded and dismissed. I watched facts and evidence be ignored, and they voted for it anyways.
What's your message to those lawmakers who passed that ban?
You don't know the people you're affecting. You don't know how much of a impact it has on them, how dangerous it is.
As the measure moved through the Texas,
the one thing that they never get to talk about or never get asked because either the press who's asking the questions don't give a fuck, they never talk about the stochastic terrorism surrounding the trans issue. There's so much of it, and it's genuinely more dangerous than anything else. I don't think legislation is more dangerous than this.
With this, with the Springfield stuff, we found out that those bomb threats were coming from out of the country.
Country, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I want to see if those bomb threats on those hospitals and stuff instigated by Rychek are also coming from out of the country.
Yeah, that would be
We
actually
didn't
pretty
we didn't
interesting.
get data like that then.
No, it would actually.
Because what if all of it's being escalated? All these bomb threat stuff, what if it's all being escalated by Russian agents and there's not people inside the country calling bomb threats on children's hospitals?
Looks like we just found a story to look into. That's what that sounds like. Sounds like we should be making some calls and backtracking and seeing if we can't find out whether this is
I don't
a fact.
even know where to start with that.
I don't know either. This is something that
I
would
bet
have
you,
to
I
be
bet you, I bet you, I
extensive.
bet you we can just email the FBI.
Maybe. Try it. Just be like, yo, we have a theory. Help. Like, surely the FBI would be able to
Subject's line,
figure it
bomb
out.
threats.
I think, well, that would definitely get their attention. But that would, I
Maybe-
genuinely think we just found a story to look into. Like that's genuinely a story that could be connected and expanded upon. Because I've wanted to take this cunt down for a while. Like the fact that she's on education boards picking books for school children in a state that she's not even a resident of is wild. The fact that she's a real estate agent engaging in political influence is insane. She needs to be dealt with and removed from public life as quickly as possible. Yeah, I'm not sure how they actually figure out where the call is coming from. I don't think the hospitals would have that information.
Mm-hmm.
It would have to be telcos, maybe, because the telcos have to communicate with each other, which means that the telecommunications companies definitely have a record of it. It's just a matter of connecting those dots.
Legislature, Ryan and Mia were told his doctor couldn't see him anymore. They lost access to his prescriptions and had to stretch the medicine they did have as long as possible.
Unfucking believable.
Mia started looking for care in other states, but between the cost of travel, the appointment, and the medicine, they couldn't afford it.
There's no way. I'm already like
Guess we'll die.
barely scraping by.
Thanks, Texas. Really fucking helping people here. You know, making laws based on fucking morons with nothing but hatred in their hearts. Incredible. America clearly doesn't learn its lessons. What happened the last time legislation was based on hatred?
What's this story about?
Texas banning trans people, basically. Because
But
if you
why are they
ban
gonna
trans
die?
youth, you ban trans people, huh?
Why are they going to die?
No, I'm saying that like then, you know, they're not getting the medical care and shit, right? Right. So if they're losing access to prescriptions because it's illegal in Texas to have these prescriptions now, what else did they lose? Did some prescriptions come on the predication that they were taking other medications, like an antidepressant, for example? Right. Again, I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. I'm just theorizing. But like, I don't see how this is a law that the state can pass when it's actively harming people. You know what I mean? The law is actively harming people. Not just like this shouldn't be allowed, really, as at the state level. That like surely this is something that the fucking federal government could step in on. Right? Because they're American citizens, not Texas citizens. Surely the federal branch would supersede in this case. I don't know. Yeah, but the drug thing, I can see where they're coming from with the drug thing. Like, prohibition doesn't work, and the government is full of stupid people who think it does. That's why that's happening. I would distinguish it because the war on drugs, the illegal drug laws, aren't necessarily directly killing people or directly harming people. It's the enforcement of those drug laws, right? And these laws are laws put in place which are preventing people from getting the care that they need because doctors don't want to give it to them because they're scared of punishment. That's coercive law, I would almost say. Right? It's like you are this thing that you can't change. Don't. What are your options? Die. That's basically what Texas is saying. Is like, we don't want to help you. Essentially, just kill yourself. That, at the end of the day, boiled down, it's a little bit exaggerated, but you get the point.
I don't have. Actually, my car breaks down.
I agree, and they should all be removed. And if you can build a case where you can find laws that are harming people, actively harming people, not the enforcement, but the law in and of itself by its effects, then, and when I say affecting people, I'm like really affecting them, not just like bothering them a little bit.
All the extra funds. Like there's
Okay,
days
so
where
anyway,
I had to choose between like gas or food. You know what I mean? Like there's.
I figured since we basically didn't actually do a game to open, we can close with League. And that's all I was gonna say is that I updated it and got it working on the laptop.
Okay.
He's right, hungry, so my kid could eat.
Mia ultimately connected with the Campaign for Southern Equality, a nonprofit focused on LGBTQ rights. Its Trans Youth Emergency Project helps families cover the cost of travel for out-of-state treatment.
Ready?
I've literally never seen this fucking channel before, but they have 64 viewers live right now, and I have no idea why.
Write down that nonprofit that's helping people for potential guests.
And they're watching Breakthrough News.
Oh God, well, it's because of Lebanon.
No, it's even worse because the video that they're watching is journalist Rania Khalek. Don't just hate the media, replace the media. Boy.
Yeah.
Got Ryan an appointment at a University of New Mexico clinic in Albuquerque.
Posted in the potential guesty thing. Speaking of which, we'll see what she says, but we might have our Lebanese correspondent on.
Okay. Cool.
But it will be at the end of the stream Friday because that's when it depends because the only time we stream that would line up for her would be like 8 or 9 in the morning for her.
Okay.
So. And she also might be having to evac. I don't know because she's in Beirut, not the south, but they're also bombing Beirut.
We've got Lebanon coverage today, so.
Enter Elevated Access, whose volunteer pilots fly patients.
That reminds me as well. I can't get to it. There's I can't get to it. I was going to promote a fundraiser, but I don't have Instagram on this computer. It's too difficult. The laptop.
Yeah.
Or gender-affirming care bans to out-of-state appointments for free.
For takeoff, you can proceed on course.
A pilot we're just calling Clyde to protect his identity.
They literally have pilots.
Ryan and Mia from Austin to Albuquerque in his Cessna.
Based.
The surprise for me is how I reacted emotionally to this need. It just seemed so political, so ridiculous because it was political.
I think it's stupid. We shouldn't have to take a private plane to go to a fully different state for some little vials of medicine.
Crazy.
Shot. I don't think the old men should be making laws about something that doesn't affect them at all.
True.
Our pilot, the people that
that go out of their way, that risk it, that are risking their livelihoods or just putting themselves at risk for no reason. Than just they're kind and they understand what's at stake, and that's the part that it gets to me. It gets me in my heartstrings.
Oh, he's right though. It is fucking stupid
Yeah.
because it's political.
It is.
It's evil and inhuman, but it's only there. Something just flashed on my screen and I don't know what it was. It was up at the top where it normally says live. It was said some.
Don't know.
Maybe it was connection slow. Anyway, like.
Thank you very much.
Ryan, can I
appreciate
give you a
it.
hug?
Oh, it's you. It's your pause when you pause and unpause.
No.
The next morning, Ryan and Mia arrive for their appointment with Dr. Michelle Hutchison, a pediatric endocrinologist. About half her patients are now from Texas.
I hate that this is happening to my families. Being transgender is hard, transitioning is hard. And then you're doing all of this in the background of everybody coming at you and telling you that it's wrong. How would you not have anxiety? How would you not
The only
have...
reason they're doing it is because it's been made as a
just
popular
a
political
down-
issue as well.
Yeah.
The party of leave me alone.
And there are new obstacles. Texas's Attorney General has tried to access medical records of trans patients getting care out of state. Trans Texans can no longer change their gender on birth certificates or driver's licenses. Meanwhile, the U.S. Supreme Court is set to decide whether
It's
bans
deeper
on
than that. It's deeper than that.
Mm.
So, if they do have the change of gender on something, right? So because they can't do their birth certificate or
Mhm.
driver's license,
Yes.
there's potential that if you're trans, you can't vote.
Incredible.
So there, it's also has
Unfucking
voter
believable.
suppression attached to it. Isn't that great?
Awesome. That's great. Who the
And
fuck
then
is
when
this?
I try to tell my mom stuff like this, she's like, well, you know, the Democrats are bad too. No fucking shit. I can't stand the fucking cult mindset.
Yep. Nightmare. I'm actually so curious what this guy is talking about. Because like his title is Leftist News Free Palestine Climate. Which means nothing. But like
Maybe we should do titles like that.
yeah, maybe. Maybe just on Twitch we do that. Because like the YouTube title, we can keep the titles for YouTube, but maybe Twitch will make it a bit more nebulous and general. Maybe try it something different. Maybe. We'll see.
are constitutional.
Transgender insanity. The hell out of our schools.
And Mia says that if Trump is reelected, she'll move her family out of the country.
Fair enough. Look, I used to laugh at people who are like, if Trump wins, I'm leaving the country. Fair enough. Fair enough. You're welcome here, honestly.
This guy, the
scary.
the leftist news guy, the 27 Club guy, he looks like CM Punk if CM Punk did drugs. Jack doesn't know what that is, but that's killing for somebody in chat right now.
What, drugs?
No,
I know
CM
who
Punk
CM
on
Punk
drugs.
is. He's a wrestler, no?
Yeah, but he's straight edge.
Yeah. Ah. Interesting.
Look at a picture of CM Punk and then look at that guy. You tell me I'm wrong.
No, I kind of agree. Because I know what he looks like.
Well, yeah, no, I wouldn't stay. How could I do that? in
Yeah,
good
exactly.
faith and be a good parent?
But for now, Ryan's care moves forward. Dr. Hutchison said Ryan was handling his treatment well, gave him a new testosterone prescription, and scheduled a follow-up appointment for 6 months.
I'm excited. I know now we have like plans set in place, like resources available I'm happy.
Oh, I love you. Yeah, today's a good day. I've been emotional all morning, but it's a good day. It's happy.
I'm so curious about this single mother. Because I'm pretty sure they said that at the start. Single mum, right? Single mum, kid's kind of white looking. Do you reckon she's black? Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So
why
it's
she's
even
allowed to have that hair.
but like I think it's even more interesting as well because there must be an extra level of stigma here if she is in fact black American.
I
Because I
gotta say
imagine that
the whole like white people can't have dreads thing.
Mhm.
I don't have time for it. It's
Fair enough.
also I had dreads for a minute, but I cut them off because like I only had them when I was like really sick and couldn't do my mohawk every day.
Yeah.
So I like dreaded it so it was easier for me. Literally like something to make my hair look nice because I was like disabled and couldn't function.
Mhm.
And there were still people online who had an issue with it, never in person.
Yeah.
What's funny is that every black person that I met with dreads loved that I had them and were like, "Oh, hey, like your hair, dreads are great."
Interesting.
Type stuff, right?
Are we talking like hippie gross dreads or like proper dreads?
No, mine were like really small and tight.
Yeah, okay.
But so like I made it so because like I made it so like when I pulled it up,
Fair
it
enough.
would like be in a like when I pulled it back, they would like be tight and look good.
Yeah,
But
okay.
still their buildup gets inside them, and I have dandruff, which makes the buildup even worse.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Fair enough. I don't know.
I want to say I might have still had them when we started.
Maybe the very first,
like
the Afghan episode that we did that was split into like 7 things.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, I think I had I wrapped my head for that one. But so the whole point is like, oh, because like black hair is discriminated against, so they like won't hire people with dreads and stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's like then it's a natural black hair that they discriminate against it because of that. White people can't have it, and I'm just like, shut up, just shut the fuck up, just shut the fuck up. White people having dreadlocks is not stopping the black hair discrimination.
Yeah, exactly.
Or triggering it. It literally is like you're just alienating people for a fucking cause at this point.
Yeah. And that's kind of what it kind of leads into what I was going to say, which is like, because there's obviously like homophobia in the black community is pretty high, right? For whatever fucking reason. I haven't looked into it. I'm sure that there's reasoning. I'm sure there's some kind of like masculinity thing behind it.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's the masculinity.
Yeah. So I imagine that there would be some kind of like, I'm very curious and I'm very disappointed that PBS did not ask this question about community. Because they started with single mother, trans kid. I would have loved to know whether the community has helped or has completely rejected her. I am so curious. But, yeah.
Tears. I'm overwhelmed with gratitude.
They went to a pharmacy nearby to fill the prescription.
Oh, thank you very much.
A moment of relief amid near constant struggle. For the BS News Hour, I'm Laura Barone Lopez.
Like, your brain has to be pretty fucking broken to watch this story and then be like, yeah, we should keep that shit banned. Why? Reasons.
Evil.
Yeah.
Hate. It's politics of hate.
Literal hate. Yep. Yeah.
But remember, the Republicans are the ones that ended slavery. The Democrats are the racist party.
Well,
Hold on, what was that?
Boo.
I always skip their little factoids. 45% of transgender and non-binary young people reported they or their family have considered moving to a different state because of related politics and laws. 45%. Honestly, rookie numbers.
Did you watch
numbers.
that iDubbbz video, by the way?
I haven't. I was going to save it for Friday.
It's funny because like he starts doing, because they're like the percentage of people who are intersex is like, so his point was like, they're like, oh, it's such a minor number, why do we care? And he's like, literally more people are intersex than are named Megan with a Y or something. You know, he's like different names he was pulling up, saying that there's more people who are intersex than have this generic common name.
That's genuinely hysterical. Unfortunately, my room is not dark enough that the purple comes through. But I can like change color now as well.
Bisexual lighting meta?
Flesh colored? Gross.
It's called flesh.
No, it just looks flesh colored. Sure, that's purple. Purple, sure. Sure.
Purple.
Yay.
Yes.
Are you aware of a CIA psychological profile about you, sir? Would you be interested in hearing what the CIA had to say? This secret study portrays as a brilliant but dangerous megalomaniac who is likely to pursue his own aims in disregard of U.S. interests. He's an uncertain ally. Shall I go on, or would you prefer that I stop, sir?